Here's an overdue update on the steel shop and house, or Barndominium build, if you will. So if you watched previous videos, you know that I'm building a residence, 2,500 square foot residence inside this 5,000 square foot steel building. But I'm starting out with a small portion of the residential build, essentially a 600 square foot apartment, kitchen, bath, and oversized bedroom. So the framing is done, as you can see, and the rough-in electrical is about 95% complete. Just a few minor details remaining on the electrical. This is the kitchen, and you can see can lighting up here. As far as lighting went, based on previous experience with a kitchen I remodeled, you really can't have too much light, in my opinion. So I took all the information I could get online about, proper lighting for a kitchen of this size and plussed it by 50%. So there's a total of 12 can lights in here, not including the one right above the sink. And most of the calculators that I consulted called for 8. So I just added an extra 4. You can always dim them, but if you didn't put them in, you'll probably regret it if you're short. So this is the hallway, short hallway that comes down to a full bath. Doesn't really look like much, of course, right now. Your basic 60-inch step-in shower, 36 inches deep, so I think the 24 inch is a little more common, so I went a little wider here. Toilet, 2 sink vanity, small linen closet, and then the bedroom. And the bedroom's a little different. The first clue might be that I have both standard height and counter height outlets set up in here, because this bedroom, what will now be a bedroom or soon be a bedroom, will eventually be repurposed as a workshop / office. I'll be able to have outlets above my workbenches or the counters if I put those in, or whatever I do in here. So just gives me a little more flexibility. And then a closet. And again, with the lighting, because this is going to be a workspace at some point, I overkilled it. I mean, a bedroom would normally have maybe 6 can lights in here, max. And then you're going to have, lights on your nightstands or whatnot. But here I put in, I forget the exact count. I think it's 10. And then there's also provision for a ceiling fan. So I could have gone with even more can lights in here, but I was already kind of pushing it with the numbers. I figure I'll need some task lighting anyway, so this is just general overhead lighting. So what remains to be done now is plumbing. That will be accomplished by the end of the month, the rough-in plumbing. All my underground plumbing, of course, was done when we poured the foundation. And then from there, insulation, drywall, HVAC. As far as HVAC goes, I'm putting in a split system. Our heating requirements are fairly modest here, especially given that this exterior walls, so to speak, of the apartment are framed with 2x6. So I think the plans call for R19 in the walls, and then we'll have R34 in the ceiling. So we'll be well insulated. The exterior exposure is very minimal, of course, because we only have these 2 end walls that actually have any exterior exposure. And even those are inside of a building with, its own insulation. So our heating requirements in here will be relatively low. Cooling requirements, of course, are more critical here in the desert, but we should have plenty of capacity with what we have planned. So we'll have an air handler each, one in the kitchen and one in the bedroom. The bathroom will have, passive heating and cooling. We'll put some vents above the door, leave the door to the bathroom cut a little short, just so that we can get some cold air return in the winter from underneath the bathroom door. The vents above, like I said, for warm air to flow out during the summer. I'm thinking now probably more like a September completion date. Again, still optimistic. It's been difficult to get people on site to work. They're just, they're willing to do the work, and I've got them lined up, but they push me out again and again. And, I've talked to other contractors. I did swap out my electrical contractor. So one thing that I'm not showing here is I've done a lot of underground work. So the electrical service to this land was 200 amp when I purchased it. And so we upgraded that to 320, which is the most I could get. It'd be nice to have 400, but it wasn't available in this area. So I upgraded to 320, and that required pulling a new feed from the transformer, about 225 feet. Don't even want to talk about how much that cost, but that got done in late June. That took a while to get that done between both the utility company and the electrician that had to put the new service panel and all that in. And then because of my experience with that outfit, I swapped out for a different electrician to do my rough in. They just took forever to get on site. Originally they were going to be out here in May, early May. They didn't make it until mid to late June. So I, basically had to fire them and brought in a different contractor to do the rough in, which I think made a lot of sense because the outfit I had do this work is much more service oriented, a little less construction oriented. A small job like this, which is, more like a remodel for most contractors, they were real happy to have this job because they're usually crawling around in attics trying to fix stuff, and they know a lot of the problems that happen out here. So they were happy to come in and do this right. And then of course they will support it after the sale, even though I don't anticipate having any problems at all. And then the other underground work we had to do, which was very significant also, was put in a new septic system. So this property had a septic system on site dating from the 90s. We originally set up the plans to say that we were going to use that septic tank, but when we finally got around to digging that up and really assessing it, it was too small and in too deteriorated of condition to use it. So it made more sense just to go ahead and put a new system in. That is about 100 feet away from the building now, and it's in a good spot. Put in a new concrete tank. It's appropriately sized for the entire 2,500 square foot residence. So those two, more utility type work projects sucked up a lot of time between early May and early July, which is where we're at now. So that pushed us back. But again, I do think September's pretty realistic. Hanging the drywall, finishing the drywall, putting the insulation in, stuff like that that work goes pretty quick. And then as far as the rest of the interior finish out, I'll be doing most of that myself. Kitchen cabinets, flooring. I might tackle tiling the shower myself, but just based on wanting to get it done and it being the only real bathroom on site besides what's in my RV, I might just pay somebody to do it so it's done quicker and I can take a real shower sooner. But we'll see. But that's it for now. That's the update. Sorry for being a little long-winded. And stay tuned for more. Hopefully I'll have another update here with plumbing and drywall starting to go up.